In 2007, an event occurred at a Portuguese resort that would later be called the crime of the century. 3-year-old Madeline McCann from Great Britain mysteriously disappeared from her hotel room, and the investigation into this crime became one of the most high-profile in world history. It sparked international scandals and even involved an audience with the Pope himself for the girl's parents. For 13 years, this case remained unsolved, but in 2021 new shocking details emerged. In this video, we have gathered all available information and tried to answer the main question: what happened to Madeline McCann? In May 2007, a horrifying crime took place at a popular resort in Praia da Luz, Portugal. 3-year-old girl Madeline McCann disappeared from her hotel room where she was staying with her family. Since then, no one has seen her. In 2007, spouses Kate and Gerry McCann were on a 7-day vacation at a quiet Portuguese resort in Praia da Luz. The choice of location for this British family with 3 children was quite obvious. Among the large number of tourists from the United Kingdom, Portuguese language here was only second or third most commonly used after English. Locals referred to it as Little Britain. Additionally, there were 3 child care centers operating at the resort where nanny services could be arranged when playrooms were closed. The couple was vacationing with 4 other families, 9 adults who were all medical professionals, and 8 children including 2-year-old twins Sean and Madeline McCann along with their 3-year-old sister Madeleine. The couple's vacation followed a fairly routine pattern each day. They had breakfast and lunch together with their children in their apartment before sending them off to play at one of these child care centers, while they dined out every evening between 8:30 and 9 o'clock until around 11 o'clock, leaving their children alone, periodically checking on them except for one family, who had a baby monitor. The restaurant was located 50 meters away from the apartment, and the McCanns had secured a table that allowed them to see their apartment windows. The bedroom faced the parking lot and garden, adjacent to the back door. It had one window with shutters facing the parking lot. Madeleine's bed was at the other end of the room. The twins slept in travel cots. Madeleine slept on one of the twin beds with a soft pink toy cat. She was wearing a white and pink short-sleeved pajama set. On May 3rd, around 9 o'clock, Kate and Gerry went to dinner. During dinner, the parents periodically checked on their children to make sure everything was okay. Friends who had dinner with them also arrived. At 21:05, the father entered the children's bedroom. According to him, everything was calm and Madeleine was sleeping in her crib. The only thing that was different was that Gerry was sure he had left the bedroom door closed, but when he returned it was wide open. Not attaching importance to this, he put it back in its previous position and went back to the restaurant. Kate planned to check on the children around 10:30. But their friend Matthew Oldfield suggested checking on their children when he checked on his own. Kate agreed. Oldfield made sure everything was calm in the McCann's apartment and left. Later, he admitted that he didn't see if Madeleine was in her crib at that moment. Kate went to check on the children at 2200 hours. She entered through the patio doors and noticed that the bedroom door was wider open than usual. But when she went to close it, it slammed shut as if from a draft. Then she saw that the window was open from outside. The twins were asleep. In Madeleine's crib lay her soft toy, but there wasn't a trace of the girl herself. After searching through the apartment and not finding their child, Kate McCann rushed back to the restaurant screaming that her daughter had been abducted. As friends of McCann's later recalled seeing them immediately after their daughter disappeared, they arrived in deep shock. The girl's mother began sobbing loudly almost immediately and fell into a stupor while her husband ignored people and looked under every parked car hoping to find their child there. The parents searched for their daughter until 5 a.m. and only agreed to sleep after repeated pleas from others. By this time, the police were already examining the apartment. Local authorities behaved unprofessionally during the initial search of the apartment and made numerous mistakes. For example, the investigators notified border guards about missing child only 24 hours after the start of the investigation. This deprived local authorities of the opportunity to intercept the presumed kidnappers of girl. In addition, Portuguese law enforcement agencies did not timely collect fingerprints from the crime scene, did not establish a cordon around the apartment, and ultimately failed to prepare sufficient evidence. 30 minutes after the girl's disappearance, large-scale searches began. However, several dozen people participated in them, including resort staff and guests. They combed through surroundings for about 6 hours. There was hope that the girl had simply gone for a walk out of curiosity and would soon be found. However, it became obvious by morning that something terrible had happened. Portuguese police questioned parents, the restaurant staff, family friends, and searched nearby areas. The news of a child's disappearance was already being reported by English media. The news was passed on to journalists by the McCanns friends, who believed that it would create public resonance and make the Portuguese police work better. However, this led to biased attitudes towards the parents from the police. They believed that widespread publicity could harm the case, reducing the chances of finding the girl. Tensions escalated during the investigation, and the parents repeatedly accused the police of negligence, unprofessionalism, and a simple unwillingness to search for Madeleine. Perhaps this is what led to considering the parents themselves as prime suspects. In subsequent days, Portuguese, British, and international press gathered in Praia da Luz. The story of a fair-haired English toddler disappearing in a place considered safe for family vacations was published worldwide. It became one of the most sensational crimes of the 21st century. For over 14 years, Portuguese police, Scotland Yard, and Madeleine's parents have tirelessly investigated her abduction in an attempt to find out what happened to her. But there are still no answers. Perhaps we will never know what really happened to 3-year-old Madeleine on May 3, 2007. However, over these years of searching, numerous theories have emerged. Let's consider some of them that seem most plausible. Some investigators believe that Madeleine may have been targeted by a rapist who operated in that area at that time. The police were looking for a man accused of attacking 5 girls at Portuguese resorts. Detectives described him as a lone wolf who attacked girls while they slept in their beds at night. 2 of these attacks did occur in Praia da Luz. One of the most well-known theories is that Madeleine was abducted by a human trafficking organization. The Netflix documentary The Disappearance of Madeline McCann thoroughly examined this theory. It is believed that Madeleine, a young white girl from an affluent family, would be valuable prey for child traffickers. This theory would explain why Madeleine's body has never been found and why there have been various unconfirmed sightings of her worldwide. This is the most controversial of all possible explanations that haunted Kate and Gerry McCann from the very beginning of their ordeal. The main version of this theory suggests that Madeleine accidentally died due to an overdose of sleeping pills given to her by her parents. Then, allegedly, they hid her body and claimed she had been abducted. At some point after this, despite being under media scrutiny, the McCanns discreetly disposed of their daughter's body. Supporters of this theory point to alleged inconsistencies in the McCann statements about the events of that evening. They also attached great importance to the fact that police sniffer dogs detected a cadaver scent in a car rented by the McCanns several weeks after Maddie's disappearance. An obvious counter-argument here is that sniffer dogs can be very unreliable and that other DNA traces found in the car and apartment were completely inconclusive. Despite the lack of direct evidence linking the McCanns and the apparent improbability of a vacationing couple hiding their daughter's death without any trace, Portuguese police insisted on their guilt. 4 months after Madeleine's disappearance, Portuguese police questioned her parents as suspects in this case. At that time, detectives believed that the couple may have staged Madeleine's abduction and hidden her body. Madeleine's mother, Kate, claimed that she was offered to confess to concealing her daughter's death in order to reduce her prison sentence. The formal status of suspects was lifted from the couple in 2008, but they remained under suspicion for many years. Senior Detective Goncalo Amaral, who led this investigation, was removed from it. Amaral wrote a book accusing Madeleine's parents of involvement in her disappearance. He explained this as an attempt to protect his professional reputation. The defamation lawsuit filed by the McCanns against former detective regarding claims made in his book was dismissed by Portugal's Supreme Court. Kate and Gerry appealed to European Court of Human Rights but lost it in September 2022. The couple also faced numerous attacks online where they were accused of murdering their daughter and covering it up. Devastated parents met with U.S. Attorney General Pope Francis, participated in numerous talk shows. They also established Madeleine Fund, which received less than £2 million within a year. Meanwhile, British investigators worked parallelly with Portuguese counterparts examining evidence and interviewing witnesses, but there were few leads. And in 2008, Portuguese police closed the case. In 2011, Home Secretary Theresa May initiated an investigation called Operation Grange. The task force led by inspectors Randy Ed Wood and Simon Foy consisted of 7 civilians and 28 detectives. Within its framework, a group of top British investigators was supposed to uncover the mystery of Madeline McCann's disappearance. A huge sum of money was allocated for the investigation, and British investigators once again interviewed dozens of people in Portugal and England. The head of the group, Senior Inspector Andy Redwood, was confident that there is still a possibility of finding the child alive. During the operation, all those convicted of crimes against children, restaurant employees, and tourists vacationing at the resort were checked. However, none of the versions were confirmed. During their work on the case, detectives received over 8,000 messages from people who claimed to have seen Madeleine. The majority of statements came from the United States, Great Britain, Switzerland, Mexico, and Singapore. It is known that more than 100 similar leads were investigated by authorities, but either this information is classified or it did not find confirmation. There are numerous theories about Maddie's disappearance. However, none have been confirmed. Nevertheless, in 2020 there was progress in the investigation. Police discovered a new suspect in Germany, a 43-year-old man who is already serving time in prison for assaulting a 72-year-old American woman. He also has 2 previous convictions for violence against underage girls. Additionally, he has had run-ins with police for drug trafficking as well as hotel and holiday home burglaries. At the time of Maddie's abduction, the suspect lived near to where McCann stayed, so he could indeed be responsible. Currently, police are gathering evidence and proof while also trying to locate Maddie's body. Perhaps soon this mysterious disappearance will finally be solved and her loved ones will find peace. If Madeleine is alive, she would have turned 20 on May 12, 2023. Her parents still believe that their daughter is out there somewhere. However, in recent years they have shown less activity, focusing more on their other 2 children. Nevertheless, Madeleine's mother continues to buy her gifts for every occasion, believing that one day she will see her daughter again.